Jimmy's got to sit with his lightning bolt for 15 minutes before he pops. He's going to make a brain.
It's
called branding.
Right.
Try it sometime.
What is this? It's a fucking Unabomber?
The puny bomber.
Is it cold over there?
I'm trying to make the audio work better for you so you don't cry about that. Look at that. Can we get that creepy cruds in the background? Too?
Oh, it's lovely.
That actually sounds better than your audio usually sounds.
Well, that's because I'm using the super expensive microphone you gave me years ago.
Oh, really?
The AKG.
Oh, the AKG. Look at that. Oh, there's that dog. Look at him.
Yeah, you met before.
Awesome.
Yeah. Bonnie.
What's his name again?
Bonnie.
Bonnie, her name. Okay. Jimmy's got some pugs.
Oh, yeah, they're a disaster.
More dogs the merrier. Both of mine are upright. And he just has skeletons. So
Yeah. And a cat ran around here. She's afraid of me, so.
only person here that probably did any prep is me because I have actually watched some of your movies and obviously I know you from all the other things.
Right.
I think these guys, their research probably is limited to nothing.
You're so
I blame
judgy.
Amazon for that. My day job, yeah.
Vinny, you don't have anything new you want for your intro, do you? Why does it say CSPWD on there?
You haven't figured that out yet? It's always there.
No, is it really? What is that?
No, is it really? What is that?
Children shouldn't play with that things.
That which is what? That's number 2 on your list, right?
Number two.
Number
Yeah.
2. Benny has a list of 500 horror movies, and I know that is number 2.
How do I change my name? Rename. There it is right there.
Yeah, how do you do that? You just click on it?
Oh, let's see what happens.
Just said it, you can rename it. Handsome Jimmy. Where do I rename? Where's the button?
There's the 3 little dots next to the mute when you hover over your picture. Tech support. This is Jimmy. How can I help you?
Well, you're in marketing.
That doesn't mean I know how to work a Zoom, Gene.
There we go.
I can barely operate this human form. Good evening, weirdos. Welcome to another edition of LIVIN CRUDDY. I'm your host, Handsome Jimmy. As always, joined by the one and only Fart Master, the chameleon, Vincenzo. Yeah, there he is. Fart Master. And Mr. Wonderful himself, Mr. Gino Coffinberry.
Did you say handsome Jimmy?
Can I introduce the guest, please?
Yeah,
for God's sake?
we should probably do that. Just quit worrying about me.
God's sake. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this episode of Living Cruddy, number 2,842, probably. The one and only artist, art director, and actor, Mr. Cael Adcock.
Hi, guys. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here.
Awesome. Well, it's been a little while. We did the Halloween one, right? We did one with a weird one with Xander
With
Vorkov.
Xandor, yeah.
So anyway, we have Cael here, which I have known via the web for about 15, 16 years now.
Yeah, probably. We trauma bonded over a currently terrible sports team and a sports team that's been terrible for a lot of years. But some good years, though. We had some good years.
There was some decent stuff. I think when I first encountered you, we probably didn't agree on much.
I don't think anyone agreed with me on much.
Well, I think that
That
was
was kind of the thing.
you intentionally didn't agree with anybody.
Yeah, I believe everything I said.
And that was on the sports forum, GoTitans.com, which apparently doesn't exist anymore. Have you been over there?
No, I know they did the Discord thing where a lot of the dudes that also have nothing to do started hanging out in there for a long time. And I eventually I didn't frequent it as much. So
Titans they are a frustrating team to keep up with.
You know what we should do? We should totally build them a new $70 billion stadium.
Exactly.
That's a great idea. That'll make them way better.
yeah, this guy is in marketing. Jeez.
I know you follow the Lions, Cael. I know that you're having a great year with those guys. But I was also following Cincinnati, who was like the other most frustrating team in existence.
The Bengals.
And they had a horrific playoff game against the Steelers. I don't know, we're talking about 8 years ago, maybe. And I was like, that's it. I'm fucking done with football. This is the most frustrating thing ever. Titans are terrible. The Bengals are just as bad, if not worse. And then both teams go on a tear. They get Bengals get Joe Burrow, and fucking Titans have a little bit of a playoff run there.
Yeah, and then they meet each other in the playoff. Yeah,
They get sucked into it, and then they're both terrible again. It's like, come on, man.
it's weird. I feel like the least I care about it, like the better my teams will do. Grew up.
Oh yeah, if I don't watch it,
Maybe you're jinxing them.
Yeah. I mean, I think it is. I think anything you offer some consciousness to that's like kind of negative or too stressed, you're gonna ruin it for yourself.
there's nothing worse than football stress. It's like, why am I doing this?
I don't play. Yeah,
Right.
I'm gonna run routes.
None of this. They're not going to draft the guy that I think they should draft.
Right.
Well, we're not here to talk about the goddamn horrible Tennessee Titans or their stadium.
My dog keeps eating tinsel.
Cael, kept up with Cael on
Poop.
Facebook, and he's been making movies, and you always were way into acting. And I remember that you were doing a lot of stage stuff. I mean, you're down in not in Murfreesboro, but
Yeah, we did a little Murfreesboro, and then some Cannon County, and pretty much anywhere in Middle Tennessee, and then finally got out to Nashville, Franklin, out there in the Boiler Room, rest in peace. But yeah, kind of all over the
you're
area.
over to Boiling Room. That's Jimmy and I are like 5 feet from there.
Yeah, nice. Yeah,
Great.
I missed it. Yeah, it's great theater.
But then I started seeing you were posting stuff that's more up our, not that, what you do otherwise isn't up our alley, but, this is like a horror centered deal that we do here. And here you are, you're making horror movies, which is crazy.
Yeah, they're fun. That's what I've learned. Like, cause to me, I'm a bit of a bitch when it comes to, like if I'm at home alone, anything dark, like same with video games, I'm not going to play Dead Space at night. It's just not going to happen. And, it's usually, you get home after work and it's bordering on nighttime by the time I watch anything or consume anything. So I guess the jump scares and stuff would kill me. I'm like, no, I'm not going to be embarrassed all alone by myself at home.
Right.
But now doing like horror movies and stuff, I feel like it's a lot more fun to watch them than what it was before.
Exactly.
I got enough terror in my daily life. I don't need to watch my entertainment.
I know you've done a bunch of movies now, but what was the first horror flick that you did?
I guess technically the first one would have been Ledger on the Second Floor, and that was all shot in like 42 millimeter. It was incredible what they did. But yeah, we did that all black and white. But it's very like it had that perfect kind of old school feel, and that was a really fun one to do. And I guess it's a little bit more suspense and psycho type vibe, psychotic horror. And then we did Curse of the Nun, which was obviously a spinoff of The Nun, because these mockbuster things where you do like I learned this in recent years too, where there's so many directors and writers out there that basically they recreate something that already kind of exists and is getting some buzz, but so many countries and others won't have access to it because it gets banned in those countries, right? And they're a blast to do for sure. But
is this mostly one production company, or is this a bunch of different ones that you're working with?
Before I think I did two under with Aaron Murdes. With the previous production company he was with, he's now with a new team, and we've done. I'm working on my second one with him now. So this previous one we just did, Bury Him, which is kind of more man on the run kind of suspense type film.
That's the one that I watched a couple times. That's kind of like a modern noir kind of little horror, a little bit of humor.
Yeah.
That was, I intended to go back, and when I first started seeing you were doing the movie, I intended to go back and watch the Nun one, and we were going to try to do this then. I forget, we got sidetracked by a million other things. And we started doing up the podcast again. I'm like, well, we'll get him on as one of the first guests once I go back. And I couldn't remember what the hell the goddamn movie was. So by that point, you had posted stuff about OctoGames and now Barium. So I got to see those two. We actually ran OctoGames on our movie show.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And next thing you know, we got a couple people like, man, this is great. What the fuck's going on? They were really good.
It was just a fun one to do. So when Aaron makes films, like, he's getting, these smaller budgets, and they just continue to go up every time he gets a new project, like the one we're working on now. That's just like the spaces he's using and everything else. Even the cast that he keeps pulling just gets better and better. And it's fun. But Aaron just loves making films, and that's what he's just always wanted to do. And he finally realized, I'm living my dream. I don't have to make what I consider, these fantastic films that are just gonna blow people away and win awards. I'm having fun on set with friends and making stuff that we're all enjoying, and then we get to watch it together, and we realize sometimes people other than us enjoy it too, and it's a fun thing to experience.
How'd you meet him?
He had an audition for Curse of the Nun, and oddly enough, my friend Lacey Hartzell, we had done some stuff together in the film world and met through that. We did a weird dance show pilot thing that of course never took off, and it was guaranteed to happen, baby. It's gonna work. They love it. And we met through that, and she's an incredible human being. But she was doing the audition for that. I was over there to help her read for it off camera, and then she said, "Why don't you read for this one role?" And I think at the time it was her. I can't remember if it was her love interest or the asshole. And of course, I end up cast as the asshole because that's the way it always goes. Except for Bury Him, and I'm kind of likable, or at least redeemable, But
you handle the asshole guy pretty well.
I've had some good examples in my life, I think.
Where do you think that's going to go for? Is he going to continue to be Tennessee based, or is it going to be?
He and his he just got engaged, and he and his fiance are moving out to L.A.
Oh,
They're gonna
really?
try it, yeah, for a couple years and see how it goes. But he's getting a lot of calls now. Because I mean, if you saw what this guy does, like just on his own, it's remarkable. And I think anybody that works around him kind of sees that. And it's like, dude, give this guy a full crew and you know and a big budget, and he's gonna do some stuff. And especially when he starts getting to write more to his own interests and with his own weird sense of humor and everything else in there. Sometimes you're kind of limited. Not to say he hasn't done great with it, but they're like, all right, this is what we want. Create something very similar to this. So, and you got very short amount of time to do it, because I mean he's put these things together, and a lot of times we shoot within 2 weeks, and then but other than that, he's writing them and doing all that, probably editing himself, everything else, and running sound. He'll do it all, and we'll shoot for 12 hours. He'll go home and chop it up, and he'd be like, well, everything we shot last night's edited and ready to go. And it's remarkable, and I don't know how he doesn't look at least 50 years old at this point. He's got a baby face still somehow. But
When you're presented with these, how long do you have to prep before you're on camera?
it depends. I think at least 2 of these were cast with someone else in mind or someone before me, and then they had to bounce. But either way, I think generally I probably pretty much know. I think on average so far, probably about a couple weeks, 3 weeks, somewhere in there. Yeah, so I've at least got a little bit of heads up. I've got the script for a minute, but
Do you learn everything ahead of time, or the early shots ahead of time? How does that work?
to get cast in the future, yeah, I know it all before. I got it all. I'm off board.
I mean, after you landed the role and stuff. I mean,
Yeah. No, I think it depends. Sometimes, like, I mean, with Bury Him, there was just so much, and I never knew. You of course don't know your filming schedule. You don't know what scene you're gonna do when. I try to have as much of it as I at least had on my kind of my little notations and what I wanted to do with everything, even if I didn't have it memorized. So then, and then later I could memorize most of it. But I mean, you got so much time in between takes and everything else that film is so not simple. It's harder to me, but I think it's so simple to memorize, because you've got you could sit there for 3 hours and you got to do 2 pages worth of dialogue, and if you can't remember that, you're probably in the wrong field. But
oh, I can't remember a phone number.
Well, like, it's the thing in theater, like, you do so many like long, chunky, monologues and everything else. And I think that's a relief when you get to when you get to film. It's just all like very choppy, and you can even improv half of it, so.
So that's what I was going to ask you. And is there quite a bit of improv going on there?
There was in Bury Him, we had quite a bit. And it was funny because Zach Hoffman that's in it, he plays the PI in Bury Him. He's just a funny guy in general. Does a ton of voice acting. He's really big in that world. We learned as we went that we had more funny and humorous moments than what we anticipated, and then once we start kind of bouncing off each other, and I'm trying to be the straight man, and he gets to be silly. This time it's reversed in our new film that we're doing. I get to be the chaotic kind of sense of the
He's a Steve Honey guy then, right?
Yeah. He's Steve Honey.
That guy is funny. I will say, as I was watching it, it was like, okay, now he doesn't start off being funny. Kind of wheels it in from nowhere, and you realize like he's got a particular look about him as well. At first, you just think, oh, they just got some kind of pumped up dude for just simple fact that he's like eye candy. And he comes in, he's actually really funny, and he's cutting to doing push ups and crazy shit in the middle. I was like, wait a second, what the hell's going on here with this guy? And he pulls it off really good. So I mean,
Dax, he's a ridiculously talented human being. He's extremely musically talented. He plays, I don't know, at least 3 instruments, and that's just from being around him. He was a touring drummer. He's from a musical background, but he's just a funny dude. But the cool thing about him is, because since you say that, like, about the kind of eye candy thing, is that dude, apparently before I met him, and everyone says this, he's like, did you know him when he was just a massive circular dude? And then he'll say that, he's like, bro, I was obese, bro. But he apparently, like, he just flipped it, and he's so disciplined, and it's inspirational, and it makes me feel like a piece of shit being around him. Like, he's eating his meals every 30 minutes on the dot with his alarms and whatnot. But he's so disciplined, and that's how he got to where now he's just he's a specimen. But it definitely didn't come easy, and it's pretty new to him the last couple of years. Yeah.
Well, that's crazy. I would have assumed that he was just, always a gym rat or whatever, but
Same.
what do you know? But he's definitely got some humorous angles, and that mustache, just that alone, is anybody that wears one of those kind of mustaches is fucking hilarious to begin with. So that was perfect for that role. There's some stuff that happens in that movie. Now that I watched it initially, just check out the movie that you were in, and then when we started talking about doing this, I was like, I need to watch this a couple more times and get familiar with what's going on. Actually, pay attention to acting and stuff like that. So in case there anything came up, and I noticed that you were, you had like some action type stuff going on in there, and I know that that stuff doesn't just come. They don't say just how do you pre-plan some of that stuff?
Yeah, a lot of times we'll have a lot of it'll be coordinated and whatever with this crew again, since we're on such like a tight schedule and a limited team. We're just basically seeing what works in the moment, and we're like, what if we try this? What if we try that? And dudes like Tyler. Weisenhower. I'm gonna mess up his name. He's one of the best actors I think in town, but he's good with stunt coordination, a lot of fight stuff. He's got a lot of combat background, so he kind of leads us over there. Oh no.
Yeah, he's the guy that you get into it with, right?
Right, yeah, and he's always good at that stuff. He's really intense, but he can sell pretty much anything. So really, what we were doing, wasn't anything complicated. Especially, I think I used to do a lot of it with stage, and stage is a little more, I don't know, I think a little harder to hide. But there is still so many tricks there to where if you know a few of those, you can get by.
You don't get to tweak it later. So, but I noticed that there's one scene where somebody ends up with a knife in them. I know the way that gets shot, with the little bit of film stuff that we messed with, that is not the easiest thing to pull off. How many times do you have to take a run at that?
I think we probably got it, at least as far as how many takes. I'm not sure. I know we probably knocked out in 30 minutes. I think, with all coverage, probably 30 an hour. But yeah, so not too many. I think, it's just because you just get kind of that one shot, and you cheated a little bit, and the rest of it is kind of hidden. What he was wearing just accidentally works out. He's got a shirt over it, and so it hides a little bit of if you go in, right. And then you zoom in, and then you see it, and you're like,
Well, it didn't seem like it required a whole lot of crazy prop effects or anything like that, but it's effective when you see the thing happen. I know the challenges in some of these movies are to make it look like it's supposed to be happening. What is happening doesn't look like it's just weird or like what happened there. That scene plays out exactly how it should.
Because you always wonder, and yeah. I never know. I watch it back and I just hate every minute of it. Everything we're doing. I'm just, seeing myself or whatever. I'm just like, oh God, just quit. Just quit. It's that stuff. But I think that's what everybody, kind of experiences, at least from what I've.
Well, that's right. I don't think everybody's like that. Like Vinny, he films his own little bits for between movie stuff, and I can tell he's the biggest fucking ham. He loves doing.
He thinks he's hilarious.
As does Jimmy. Thinks he's. I won't even do it. I can't stand looking at myself. I don't want to hear my own voice.
It's not like I do because I know who the audience is. If right. An audience full of people I don't know, it's a whole different story.
Well, people love it, man. I think some of the newer people that are coming into the freak out stuff, they're like, oh, well, Vinny is the central figure of the whole thing here. And not saying that you're not. I mean, that's what you're kind of.
I just like to make my friends smile.
Exactly.
That's
Well, it's always different too. I feel like, like me, if I'm doing comedy, I feel pretty good. Like, but I've always done that from like, childhood up. It's being taken serious. That's the hard thing, because till I was, God, I don't know if I'm still taken serious, but that's the thing that's always there in the back of the mind. It's like, oh no, dude.
Well, let me ask you this. What was the catalyst in your youth that gave you the acting bug?
Yeah, I think it was, we can go back to a troubled household that needed a little bit of something to lower the tension. But I think it started from that, from having a father who has turned his life around entirely, and he figured it out and years ago. But through my childhood, the alcohol got him and made him a different dude. And I think for me at a young age, I figured out I could entertain and kind of lower the tension in the house, making mom laugh. And then, if I could make dad laugh even better, that was a lot harder. But he also had me, watching Richard Pryor as a child. And I don't understand why that was allowed, but, all for the best, probably. But it explains a lot as a 4-year-old quoting Richard Pryor. And then you go into school, and you do I get the little class clown stuff, and year by year that happens. And then oddly enough, I transferred to schools. I went to Summertown High School out in the what I consider the middle of nowhere. No offense to anybody that's still there. Our art teacher and tennis coach asked me to get up there and do a stand-up comedy bit just because he's like, you guys know Michael, right? He's always in class making us laugh. And I'm like, well, dude, these kids hate me, man. I haven't won them over yet. And so he gets me up there. I guess I wait about two other performances because I'm terrified. And I'm just like, dude, I was like, come back to me. Come back to me in a minute. And he did. He comes back and I was like, I'll go up there and wing it and see what happens. Got up there and made a theater of people that I didn't really know. And I know a lot of them didn't really care for me because I was from the big city of Shelbyville, Tennessee. Ooh. Yeah. So and then I kind of mocked myself through it and they started laughing. And oddly enough, it kind of changed gears there. That whole experience at that school changed. You know, even the reason I transferred to schools is because I wasn't doing good in the other one, and they were like, we got to set him straight and move him out with his dad, who had now, of course, gotten it together, and he was a hard ass when it came to the academics of it all. And I still got kicked out of school, and I quit high school. But
well, it happens.
2 years. I had.
Yeah, right. You were a star.
And so it was the right move. But yeah, the comedy thing, man, that's the world that I love, and I'm glad I get to do it on this one because even looking back at Barry, I mean, I think you're always going to be really self-critical, but I'm like, oh, I got to get it back. I got to make up for what I did, you know, because I think that's more my world, and I realize how hard it is to be a serious actor, which I always thought was the easiest thing, to be the straight man and be, you know, just kind of the Denzel, not to look like Denzel or you carry it that way, but
you look exactly like him. So.
Yeah, I get that, dude. That or Kanye West, I get that a lot. But that's the thing, you realize just how hard that is to just be, I think, presentable as basically a version of yourself on screen without being a character.
You got to have a certain type of personality, or I think it'll drive you crazy.
For sure.
I absolutely can't do it. I mean, I think I could probably pull off some goofy stuff. I mean, it'd been a couple movies and stuff like that, doing Tim Ritter shit down in Florida. It's like background scenes, but you know, I was just like bewildered by the camera. Obviously, doing this kind of stuff is a little bit more my fare. Have you been anything, Jimmy? We never heard about your.
Yeah, I was in a film called "Where Is the Chesterfield King?"
Oh, well,
the Chesterfield Kings made back in the early 2000s.
So it was a rock and roll based deal.
Yeah. It was us live in a club, and then we all had a line in the movie. It was a big deal at the time. You know, I had a friend who went to film school in Rochester too, and he made a short film that was a horror film.
The head one?
Yeah, the guy that went on to make Header. And he put me in his student film, and then I scored a couple other films for him and another guy in town. That's as far as I get. I'm too good looking is the problem. It's very distracting to have me in a production.
It happens. One of these days you'll be able to grow in that beard, and then it'll be
never. It's not going to happen. It's not happening.
When are we going to get Header, man? Can we even get a DVD, a Blu-ray, something of this?
I had it and I lost it. I'll try to get it again.
Did you have it? Have you seen it, Vinny?
Oh, I have it on DVD. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Yeah.
Is it worth seeing? I mean,
it's gonna piss some people off, but I love it. It's great. Yeah. I already know some people are gonna turn off.
Describe what happens and what's the general theme of this movie?
Yeah. You might Google the name.
There's a plot that's sort of loosely wrapped around the fact that these hillbillies like to drill holes in people's heads and then fuck the holes in their heads.
Okay, well, I thought it was something like that.
Yeah.
Hell yeah! All right.
Oh,
yeah.
I love it.
So it's
from an Edward Lee novella, and that's where he developed it from. If you know Edward Lee at all, the guy is just like.
What I wanted to do was quickly squeeze in a couple trailers off YouTube. If you can bear with me enough time to fucking figure out how to share the screen.
Oh my God! Here we go.
We can look at OctoGames and bury him.
Did you share the sound too?
No, I didn't. Where is the share?
Oh my God!
Is that Ronnie James Dio?
Yeah, that is Ronnie James Dio.
Where's watching Ronnie James Dio porn again? Oh, I would love to see, but the host has disabled sharing, so I can't even tell.
Well, we can undisable that.
You're harnessing a power that you don't have the ability to control.
Exactly.
Gino,
I have no control.
Every time you get in here and mess with Zoom, they've changed all this shit.
That's how they do it.
Now Jimmy can share.
One thing I'm not sharing is this beautiful fruitcake. Yeah, look at that.
Fruitcake.
Mm-hmm. I'm the only one who likes fruitcake.
I don't think you have to share it. That's the thing.
It's-
No one's asking. But we found him though. We found the guy. That's the guy that likes to
One
fly.
dude.
Hell yeah.
Looking for a man named Mike Kinney. You seen him?
What did he do?
He killed his wife. His wife, my sister. It was all over the news.
I pause that for a
Snake
second.
Lawyer got him a mother of pearl.
The main character, Michael, he's in trouble. He's on the run, and he goes to a bar where everybody knows him. What?
Yeah, yeah. So again, when you have these like limited budgets, we have these locations that it's always one of those things. Like when you read the script, you're imagining all these locations that you're like, oh my God, dude, if they could get these, it's gonna be great. Like if we get this old school diner that's on the outskirts of town and not just sneak in and I've cut my hair and all that supposedly at this point. So he's a little less recognizable. But if you get to this little diner on the outskirts of town with a baseball cap and you're scurrying off in the back, whatever. But yeah, and then it's, in this situation, we had this one bar. So it didn't have the open space that we wanted. There was so much else with this scene originally where it was supposed to be like, I sneak through the back of the kitchen and snag the hamburger out of the back and all that. And it's like, and you're thinking like, man, if you get that, that's going to be fantastic.
Okay, so you're looking for food, basically.
Yeah,
You're
so
like trying to be avoided, but this place is where you can get some food.
Yeah. So like, and I don't think he's thinking really that it's going to be that big of a deal because I mean, he has been acquitted,
Right.
So if he could just simply lay low, grab some food and scurry on off, he'll be all right. But it's mostly that who came looking for him is the issue.
Well, some of this stuff becomes humorous just in and of itself. It's like as you're watching, like, oh, this guy is on the run, and they show a photo of you. And I want to ask you about that photo where you've got like the crazy beard and the
Yeah.
I mean, what is up with that thing?
That's what Aaron provided. I said I even did a face app thing where I sent him some photos. And I had one where it's just me with like long hair or whatever. And then he came back with that. Zach, when we were watching the screener out in LA, he was like, that's the worst photo of you of all time. Like,
you do realize that if I catch you so much as speeding, you're done. I don't like having a murderer around.
Think I'm not a murderer. No, my wife was the only thing I loved in this life.
That cop's motivated.
Yeah, then you and I were on the same team, yeah? Liar. You're a murderer. The only crime that I committed was not being likable enough on TV. Mike, stop the car!
I will say I did pause and rewatch that scene several times.
yeah.
Because it was like, did he just run that guy over?
Hell yeah, I did.
It was a complete
But that
accident.
becomes central to the story. I just
Yeah.
okay.
Gotta get out of this.
Yeah, the only way out is through.
We all got blood on our hands now.
Steve Honey, private investigator.
Oh, there he is.
We can burn the body.
No, you don't want to do that. You burn the body, they're missing, police investigation unfolds, and they find out what? The truth? Bad idea.
What we need to do is find your wife's killer, pin the body on him, then when the cops arrest him for murdering your wife and Dee, you go from villain to hero, baby.
Somebody else is following you? We're following you, mate.
Where'd he go? Where is he?
Gone.
Gone? What do you mean gone?
Gone!
You let him get away with a body?
Someone was trying to sabotage our case. I'm talking about a criminal organization.
Man, you gotta get out of there right now. Michael, move. Now.
I should have called the cops. Instead of going along with your stupid plan, man. What were we thinking?
Yeah, high action. I do have one question. Watching that reminded me of. I was going to ask you about this. There's one scene where the Steve Honey character asks you, "Where do you fellowship at?" You guys hadn't been laughing about that. I mean,
man.
that's such a fucking Tennessee thing.
Dude, so that whole scene, that whole scene was improv, and there's so much more there. And Aaron's cool about that. It's where he'll get what he already had, on the page, and then he'll say, like, with this film we're doing now, Whiskey Run, I just go off the hinges, but it's this, because I'm a washed up country singer and it's an asshole, and I know so many of them in this town. But and I'm not saying who exactly I'm drawing inspiration from, but yeah, you've been around, you might figure it out. But man, no, Zach started just riffing on that where do you fellowship was straight out of his back pocket. That wasn't there. And he's like, where do you, just keeps trying to buy time. Where do you fellowship at? And I was like, it is such a Tennessee thing. And oddly enough, he's from California. but but he grew up in the church, and it's like because every area has hillbilly areas, you know. I think he's in the he was over there, but here he sees the resemblances of it, and he'll pick up on that really quick. But I think that's what that was. He knows those types that are like, hey, where do you fellowship at, buddy? You know.
You get out there where the actual Nashville people are, that's the kind of shit that they say. And it's such an unusual thing. And when he said that, and I'm like, I know that guy's not from around. It's pretty clear. And he's like, where do you fellowship at? I'm like, that is one of the funniest fucking things I've ever heard. And your reaction to that is that you're like kind of dumbfounded about what are you even asking me about here? And at that point, you're like, what is this guy even up to?
Where y'all fellowship at?
Dude, it was raining. I don't know if you can tell. It was raining when we did that scene, and it was cold. It was way colder than it should have been, or we expected it to be. And it was but we just kept going. And at that point, I think it was 3 a.m. when we shot that scene, and we just kept going and going and going, and just every cut was different. But we were just so delirious, and every cut was so funny. And I'm just sitting there trying not to laugh at Zach, you know, because every time he's got something new that he spit out there.
You said the name of this other movie is
Whiskey Run. Yeah,
Whiskey Run.
Yeah, they're leaning heavy into where we are as far as location with the Nashville thing and being it's a heist film. Everything I've seen from it, the dailies are it's easily going to be the best thing he's done, and. But yeah, I think it's gonna be great. I think it's up his alley. And
where was that park scene shot at that you're just talking about? The one where you run over the guy and then
that's on Aaron's parents' property. Almost, I would bet at least 60% of Aaron's scenes are on his parents' property.
Oh, really? Is that the same place that the OctoGames were?
Yeah, in the OctoGames, he blacked out an entire 3-car garage for a lot of it, and we just sat in that garage for forever.
You want to run the link for OctoGames, Jimmy?
Now, what was the budget for burying him?
Oh, I'm not positive. I would bet, and I think right around, I don't know, I don't want to say and then be wrong, but I think around 10 grand.
Wow, because
it was crazy to film, to do a movie on.
Who's that guy?
Is my screen on?
Yes, it is.
Aren't you so excited? We get to be in the new Jax Pro video.
What's up, guys? Welcome to game 1 of the OctoGames. 8 games, 8 players, 1 winner.
What's the prize?
The winner is gonna win all of my social media accounts, my sponsorships, and my 100 million followers. The first game is Simon Says.
Like the kids game?
Simon didn't say to put your hand on your head. Sadly, you are eliminated.
And you know what? The fun is just beginning.
I think these are all going to be kids' games.
Kids' games to have a winner and a loser. The prize is mine.
You have cheated your way through this whole game.
You really thought winning 100 million followers would be easy?
Good luck, sweetheart.
We need to find a way out of here.
You will not take this from me!
This is fun!
Simon Says. Hide and seek. Capture the flag. Musical chairs. Hopscotch. Hangman. Tetherball. The obstacle course.
Guys, do something! They're gonna kill me!
Congratulations! You're the official winner of the OctoGames! You know, I really think this is gonna be my masterpiece.
Well, pretty clear what they base that one on.
I have no idea what they base that on.
Well, yeah, even your name is Squish in that movie.
Yeah, exactly.
They call you Squid.
Yeah, that was a fun one. But yeah, that's like White Squid Games. But yeah, so what I've learned is, so there's so many areas in the world that doesn't have access to Squid Games, right? You know, so then you create these things that aren't banned, and they seek out the closest thing. The same for, like, you know, if you're at a red box and something else is rented out and you see a thing that kind of looks close to it, you pick that up, and it's
red box. That always reminds me of that terrible old joke. What's the worst thing could happen if you send your wife out for a blockbuster? She comes home with a red box.
No. No.
Yeah.
No.
Remember that old game called Mad Libs?
Yeah.
We do a weird kind of version of that. And basically what I do is run through it, ask you a couple word types. It's not actually more than a couple. It's probably about 20 or 25 of them. And I've written a story for you. You pick the word types. The story gets rewritten using those word types. And then I send it over to Jimmy and he reads it. And then is that something you're willing to participate in? I guess is the question.
Nope, gotta go. Yeah, go for it. Go for it.
You know what? We've had people say no.
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 We had a guy that thought taco was an adjective. So
It could be.
Oh, yeah. Here's the thing. I might need to brush up on my, I used to be good at this, but it's
this one's a shorter one than we did with Xandor. So it should infuriate Jimmy a little bit less.
What?
Can you give me a year?
1979.
A number, any number.
8.
An item of furniture.
Shays.
Shays Lounge.
Oh, Shays. I thought you said shaman. I'm deaf.
Shays.
Okay, so Shays Lounge. All right. A male body part.
Nipple.
Another body part.
Ear.
A verb past tense.
Fondled.
Mm-hmm.
That works. You get the spirit of this.
I think he's got it figured out already.
I'm trying to.
A noun.
Handcuffs.
A type of bird.
A goose.
Also a verb.
There you go. Yeah. An adjective.
Colorful.
Another adjective.
Enormous.
A noun, person, place, or thing.
Hot dog.
Another verb.
Beat. Nice.
A manly first name.
Jesus.
Jesus.
Manly first name. Yeah, it counts.
I like that.
Damn it. Baron. B with a B with a B.
Baron.
That goes extremely fast.
Something goes extremely fast?
Yeah.
Just a rocket. It's fine. A rocket.
Okay. A number.
12.
A period of time.
A decade.
A news source.
It just newspaper works. They don't exist anymore, but it works.
A third-rate celebrity.
It's what I aspire to be. Third-rate celebrity, but Gary Busey.
That works.
Muttered sausages.
At this point.
All right. A noun.
A tree.
An animal.
A Gia monster.
A third-rate rapper.
In my opinion, Jack Harlow, but I don't know if that counts. But yeah, no, we're going that.
Yeah.
Harlow.
Yeah.
Fuck him. Shots fired. Hey, let's go. The beef starts now on this.
That's right. On this podcast.
A number.
You have to do it at some point. 69.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
A second-rate female celebrity.
Man, this is where I get canceled. Paris Hilton, I guess.
Oh, that's good.
That's perfect.
Beef starts now.
Yeah, exactly. No offense to her. If she's ready, I'm willing.
A male body part.
The dong.
The dong.
As this goes, you see like the liquor slowly just set in. He's gone 69 dong. Gia monster. Jesus Christ. Good thing this isn't a 2-hour-long podcast.
I know.
A forgotten actor.
I'm gonna go Freddie Prinze Jr.
Oh man, ready.
Yeah.
Just because there's no excuse that he's not still there,
Well, he just kind of gave up, right?
I think so.
A nonsense word.
Savages, scavages. Does that work? It's 2, but
that works.
it's what our middle school teacher used to say all the time. We cause chaos. Savages, scavages.
I'll make sure I get the pronunciation right when we read it.
Right.
A number.
1. Like the Titans.
A skeezy town.
Like an actual literal town. Waynesboro.
What was the movie that Freddie Prinze was in? Freddie Prinze Jr.
Shit. What is the one where she comes down the stairs and she's removed?
Scooby-Doo?
Yeah, he was Scooby-Doo too, but where it's about turning the nerd girl into the attractive girl.
She's all that.
She's all that. Good job.
A farm animal.
Goat.
Not bad.
Wasn't it Freddie Prinze Jr. and Chico and the Man?
No.
That was his
That's
father.
the-
Dad.
A boy's name.
Daryl.
Daryl. Okay. I'll go with what I think he said. All right.
A young boy's name. Daryl.
Hip fashion attire brand of the 80s.
Jordache. Yeah.
There you go.
Jordache.
A new metal band of the 90s.
Corn.
A famous person who was either a felon or a prisoner or was a prisoner.
I'm gonna skip the obvious one. No, I'm not. Donald Trump. Let's
There you go.
come on.
That works. Ridiculous story we're writing. It works perfectly. So.
That's the good news about anything Trump related. You can't get canceled, no matter what you do.
A popular sexy perfume brand. I hope you know one because I don't.
Valentino. Donna, born in Roma. If we're going, to the T, but
An adjective for sexy.
if I said just great turd cutter, does that count? Is that gonna work in this scenario?
That probably won't. But you can use that for something coming up. So
Superfly.
an item of women's clothing. We're almost done here.
Bustier.
Bustier. And the woman's body part, do you want to use a fabulous turd cutter?
Yeah, there you go. Perfect. Yeah,
There we go.
I'm glad Gino reads ahead and like knows. Yeah,
Gino, you bastard.
what a great host. See, there you go.
Joe Mustang to the back alley.
Female royalty.
Go queen because I don't want to make it weird because I don't think it's going to get weird.
Something liquid but plural, like water.
Yeah, I know what plural means. Okay. I
Okay.
said it's the verbs things that trip me up because it's been a long time. It was very well worded on those forums we used to break with. Oils.
That works. A type of large primate or a name of a large primate.
Orangutan.
Harambe.
Woman's body part.
Tit.
It works. That
Also
works.
works.
Another word for father.
Absent.
Oh, shit.
You're talking about my dad.
Papa.
Yeah, it's just
or-
daddy.
Yeah, daddy.
Daddy?
Daddy.
Male royalty.
We're going Prince there. Rest in peace.
A number?
33, he said.
33?
Actually, no. Edit it. Backspace it.
Whoa.
1,798.
1,798.
My lucky number, man.
A year in the future.
No.
Any year in the future.
2026.
2026. All right. Just read through this, make sure I didn't miss any of these.
Mm-hmm.
Seem to do that. Then Jimmy has to rewrite them in there.
Come on, man. He's got a date. Come on, man. Wow.
We've known each other for a while. It's
Por favor. Yes, please. I don't have it. 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 I don't see it. It's not. I don't see it.
I got to show her proof that I'm doing a podcast right now because she's pissed.
Oh shit.
Wait till she hears the story. She's gonna
Yeah.
She's gonna be great. Yeah.
I don't have it.
See, that one was shorter. It was shorter than the Xandor.
It was. That was pretty good considering how you.
I'm learning to cut them back. One of them was like 2 hours long.
Damn.
Or a 5-minute story.
You guys ready? Oh, what is this color nonsense, dude?
I changed it all to black.
You have confused Jimmy.
All right, are you ready for your Mad Lib?
It's a Nad Lib, Jimmy.
If you're ready for your Nad Lib.
Okay, this is Cael's Nad Lib, the story he wrote.
Cael gets nominated for the Academy Award. The year was 1979, and it was nearly time for the Academy Award nominations. Cael was hoping this would be his big day. He woke from his slumber after restlessly sleeping 8 hours in his chaise lounge. He knew today was the day that the Academy would release its list of nominations. He was so excited that he quickly brushed his nipple and shaved his ear and hopped in the shower, then fondled downstairs and made himself a big bowl of frosted handcuffs and 2 fried exotic goose eggs. Cael had put in years of work perfecting his craft, and this year he knew he would win Most Colorful Actor for his enormous work in the feature film The Day the Hot Dog Beat It. He has taken his role as Baron Rocket very seriously and prepared 12 solid decades. He would not be denied! Cael flipped on his favorite entertainment news source, the newspaper, just in time for the announcements. This year's Academy Award ceremony, hosted by Gary Busey. Nominations for Best Actor are as follows. Al Pacino for The Tree Father. Daniel Day-Lewis for The Gila Monster Whisperer. Jack Harlow for Gone with the Wind 2, The Reckoning. Justin Timberlake for The Cael Adcock Story. And the one and only Cael Adcock for Bury Him 69, The Ghost of Honey. Cael was shocked he was nominated for a different film entirely. But hey, who's complaining, right? Just then the phone began to ring. Hello? Hi, Cael. It's Paris Hilton. And I just heard the good news. I really loved you in OctoGames, and your dong really turns me on. Is there any way we can get together in the near future? Click. Cael hung up just like that. I'm not going to swing my dong for just any 90s bimbo. Ring, ring. The phone rang again. This time it was Freddie Prinze Jr. Hey, Cole, it's Freddie Prinze, and I have a huge bag of Crystal Savages Scavages, and I have one sweet-ass hooker over here, and we want you to come and party with us. What would you think about catching a quick flight to Waynesboro? Pac-Man Jones is going to be there, and we're going to make it rain, bruh. My name is Cael. She's all that sucked goat balls, and I don't roll like that. With that, Cael turned off his phone, and there would be no more crazy calls. Oh, great. Just then, the doorbell rang. Cael felt suspicious of answering the door. He opened the peephole because his house has a peephole named Daryl and took a look. He couldn't quite identify who it was. The person was keeping their identity concealed. They had a Jordache hoodie, a fleece face mask with corn imprinted on it, and they appeared to be carrying some sort of weird handgun, possibly with a long silencer attached. Is that you, Luigi? Cael asked. Let me in, Cael, the figure responded. Don't make me put my hand in Daryl. Come on, man. I can't just let anyone in. Who is it? Look, it's me, Luigi. We just saw your movie in the Fed pen, and me and Donald Trump busted out to come party with you, man. I got hungry on the way and didn't feel like stopping at McDonald's, so I had to eat Donald Trump. I have a secret plan to rage against the machine, and I need you to play a major role in it. Cael opened the door, and Luigi slid in. Cael started noticing something wasn't adding up. Luigi wasn't known for wearing Valentino, and Luigi wasn't known for having superfly gams and sexy hose netting from a split skirt and a super sexy bustier that exposed her fabulous turd cutter. Are you really Luigi, the adjuster? Cael asked. No, honey. I'm Joan Mustang, also known as Jimmy's mom, the queen of the academy, and I need a hunk of hot star loving, and the only winner of the best male actor Oscar can give me what I need. And I'm here to guarantee you will win that award, honey. You just have to do one little thing for old Joan. Just then, Joan revealed that she wasn't carrying a gun at all. It was a dual-headed ebony orangutan vibrating tit destroyer. I want you to use this like winning your award depends on it. And I want you to be a new daddy to my darling son, Jimmy. For this, you will be the new Prince of Hollywood. Cael knew this was a major opportunity. How many more installments of Bury Him can there be? 1,798 minimum. They'll probably cast Justin Timberlake as my replacement. At that point, Cael made his decision. And he admired that sweet golden statue for the rest of his days, until the sun went supernova in the year 2026. Thank God for Cael Adcock, and thank God for Joan Mustang and their darling little boy, Jimmy.
Congratulations on your award.
I appreciate it, and thank you, Jimmy.
Oh, yeah. Jesus Christmas.
Yeah, all these stories end with Joe Mustang. So
always with my mother.
Nice.
Always my mother's got to be in there. I don't understand.
Hey.
And then I have to read it. The humiliation.
Better than us being all in your mother, you know?
Well, at least we changed her name. It used to just be Jimmy's mom, and then
Yeah.
I figured we had
Joan Mustang is way better. All right, we got to wrap this puppy up and get him out of here. He's got a hot date.
We've tortured him.
Mom, oddly enough. That's weird.
So you tell us again what the name of your upcoming flick is, and any other stuff you've got coming up, man.
Upcoming is Whiskey Run. There's also a short called Feed that's gonna circuit the short the festival route. And
What's that about?
It's truly a horror, really. It's a guest at the dinner table scenario. Man, wife, guest, and something else is going on in the attic or upstairs, and it is it's bloody. It's a bloody mess, and it's beautiful. And I think it's I think it might be the best thing I've ever done.
We're looking forward to it.
Definitely.
But we definitely appreciate that you took the time to come and let us do our ridiculous shit.
Thanks, guys. This was fun. This was truly fun. This was really fun.
Great guest, man. I mean, I learned stuff. I mean,
Me too.
always embarrass ourselves with stupid questions and shit. And there's really no prep other than the story. But I mean, if you can keep it going, that it works. So.
No, I know you're a creative. Truly, I've always been impressed with everything you're involved in and everything you're doing. It's just your eye for visuals, everything. So
I appreciate it, man.
It was cool to be a part of it. So thanks, brother. Yeah.
Awesome.
Where's colliding?
Well, why don't you take us out, Jimmy?
All right, weirdos. That's it for this week's edition of Living CRUDDY. I want to thank the always gorgeous and talented Vinny Scramadingo, whatever, Chlamydia, whatever his name is.
Yes, that
The
one.
lovely and talented Gino Royd Coffinberry, who's sexy as a motherfucker. And of course, our illustrious guest, who we can't thank enough for being here. Thank you, Mr. Cael Adcock.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, we hope your acting career goes places, man. Then we could say we knew that dude.
That's right.
Yeah.
We made it happen for him. Our show.
That's right. We did it.
I will attribute it always back to this.
No, is it really? What is that?
No, is it really? What is that?